Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Louise Robbins, and I would like to introduce Syed Abbas, running for Alder from District 12. As we begin, please tell our viewers a bit about how your educational, vocational, and civic experience has prepared you for the position and why you decided to run for Alder.
Thank you very much for an invitation and giving me an opportunity to speak. I decided to rerun again for the office because I want to contribute to making the world a better place for our generations, including my two small daughters, by serving the public. The drive and the passion I have, I want to give back to the community and as well as to the world. And then always that passion is in me, and I want to, and I went to the school for public policy and human development and got a master's degree originally from there because of that drive to help people. Also, last 2 years were really difficult for the District 12 and also as a community. We have challenges. We face challenges like PFAS. We face challenges like F-35, environmental justice situation on Oscar Mayer, and also other part of the district. We have challenges like affordable housing and all those. I stood with my constituent. I took their voice to Common Council, and I helped to shape the policy in a way to really help our disconnected community, disfranchised BIPOC, Black Indigenous people of color, and try to make sure their voices get heard in a policy-making process. As I mentioned, it has been a hard year for all of us. 2020 saw us go through unprecedented strife and brought to light many problems within our society. We are living through many things, but none as profound as this new wave right movement. It is both heartbreaking and inspiring to me to see that many in our society still fighting for equity, equality. I am part of that movement and I want to bring a real change, and that's why I decided to rerun again.
Thank you. What issue or issues have you identified as being of primary concern to the residents of your district, and how would you approach tackling them?
Yeah, question. We have, as I mentioned, we have a situation with the environmental justice situation in city of Madison as well as District 12. Oscar Mayer had a 100-year history of using factory use, and they create contamination. As we all know, factories create contamination. So we are proposing a lot of affordable housing next to it. So it is to really make sure that contaminants get cleaned and people's life and health is a priority. Also, impact of PFAS and F-35 is in front of us. And in a common council level, I stood with community. I oppose F-35, and also with PFAS, there's quite a bit of work I put on the ground, and I'm still working on it. And regarding affordability, affordable housing is a big challenge citywide, also faced by District 12, and gentrification as well. I'm honored to say that we as a community work collaboratively, and we had 5 affordable housing projects approved in 18 months in District 12, which is highest in any district so far. And one of that project is tiny homes, which I supported, and I supported all of the projects. So these are some of the some of the challenges which I worked with community, and I also proposed first time in the history of Madison, environmental justice language and amendment to Oscar Mayer Special Area Plan, and try to make sure the language around environmental justice is including in the planning process to really protect our community and those communities which are disconnected with this process.
Thank you. There will be an advisory referendum on the ballot in April about a number of modifications to the Common Council, including changing the number of members, making it full-time, and changing the term of office. Which of the ideas being advanced do you embrace? Why or why not?
I think so. Changing the council term from 2 year I like that idea personally. As my experience at the council level, the first year you just learn. There's a lot of stuff to be learned, as right now the job is more like a voluntarily job. You get a stipend, But as many of us have a daytime job, we have families like me, I have kids, but at the same time, we are absolutely committed to spend over 30 hours, 40 hours a week, because there's so much to learn, so much to serve, and the city is facing a lot of challenges. If we get from 2 years to 4 years, we get that continuum of work, the good work we are putting, and the amount of things we learn. Uh, if we have every 2 year election, which is thing, and it's a great thing for our democratic system, but however, that also create uh, create a barrier to keep doing the good stuff, because then you're busy in election campaign period. So I think so the 4 year will create that the good amount of time, which really give a good run to an order to work hard. Regarding decreasing the size from 20 to 10 orders, I do have my concerns on that. However, I understand there's a lot of work for us to do, and a full-time or a full-time job might be a solution, might be not. So at the same time, my biggest concern is about diversity and opportunity for Black and Brown community and Indigenous community. Right now at a Common Council, we have 55% of council have a diversity. Also, we have a woman representation. With only 10 members, I'm not sure how much diversity can council. So these are some of the things which we as a community have to think and create structure around it.
Thank you. Homelessness, evictions, and lack of affordable housing are vexing problems for Madison that seem to have been exacerbated in the time of COVID-19. What ideas would you advance or support to help solve these problems?
I think so. There could be several things we can do on a city-wide level and also county and statewide too. The first is we need to expand more funding for affordable housing. Also, we have to do land banking. It is disheartening to see segregation in city of Madison and how much segregated the society is. And some of the district like North District and South District, which have most amount of housing, and I support housing. It's very important for our community. But at the same time, there are communities, neighborhoods on the west, which are extremely privileged neighborhood, which doesn't get any affordable housing there. I think so. If city can be a leader to decide where the affordable housing project get through land banking, and rather than letting the developer decide where they want to put the project, we need to take a lead on this. Also, tiny homes are a great project, which both tiny homes projects are provide accommodation for homeless community. They're both in 12. I think so. We need to expand the similar type of projects across the district, across the Madison, even across the Dane County, to really provide people a space to live and really enjoy their own space and have their own shelter to live. City also facing a lot of challenges with homelessness, and you might saw my name as a sponsor. Sponsor a Common Council 3.5 million for buying a new shelter facility, and I advocate for that, and I put my name as one of the sponsor.
Thank you. With the selection of a new police chief and the creation of a community oversight board, there's a lot of attention focused on policing and criminal justice, both from the perspective of racial equity in law enforcement and the concern of many citizens that in fact crime, especially car thefts and home burglaries, is increasing and that police response is inadequate. How would you deal with these concerns?
So now more than ever, people in our community want to see innovation in our approach to safety. Saying that outcries this summer about the police brutality, demanding alternative public safety initiative. I took my constituent voice to the Common Council. I worked really hard with my colleagues and did research on Chahut crisis assistant, helping out on the street model, which is from originally that model came from Eugene, Oregon, and bring it to the Madison by co-sponsoring a $250,000 budget amendment to the crisis response team that pair a community paramedic with a specially trained crisis worker to focus on behavioral health emergency. In addition to that, I also supported a budget amendment for the Civilian Oversight Board, where as a Vice President of Common Council, I worked very closely with the community and really advocate for a Civilian Oversight Board. And also, I worked actively to develop a new ordinance to oppose completely ban choke measure by the police in the city of Madison. It was unanimously approved by Common Council. I want to say that all of the above measures were inspired by the brave protest this summer as a part of Black Lives Matter movement. Amplifying the voices of protesters in policymaking has been a priority of mine since the George Floyd protest. I'm so grateful for the community who push us to make changes, and I will continue to advocate issues on Common Council.
Thank you. Madison businesses of all kinds have been severely stressed during the past year. What, if anything, would you propose to support business revitalization?
I think all have to work collaboratively. Chamber of Commerce, DMI, community leaders, public health, 10 counties, city council. It's very important for us to collaborate. I think so. One of the initiative I really want to see to really help local is to have a committee, a public-private partnership committee where these entities and also entities which represent our community at large, those entities which represent BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people of color, to make sure businesses owned by people of color is protected, so we can all sit together and then we can strategize the city funds, which are limited in a way which is most equitable from equity lens we can distribute to our businesses.
Thank you. What measures should Madison take to increase our city's environmental sustainability?
Madison does have a lot of challenges in environmental sustainability. When I ran for election, I took that really seriously, and I proposed an ordinance on a plastic straw the time when I got elected to reduce plastic waste. Recently, you might saw the ordinance which I championed was electric vehicle charging ordinance, and that ordinance really helped to reduce the carbon emission, carbon footprint. Climate change is a all have to work together to fight for it. Also, you saw my name as a co-sponsor for bird glass to protect birds. Also, my work in my own district and my fight for environmental justice and for environment to protect wetland at Hartmire was driven through the passion of climate change, and we have to protect those wetlands. At the Common Council meeting, that meeting went up to 3 a.m. and initially the city staff want to only give 3 acres land, and then it increased to 5 and then 9, but we fight so hard. We got 16 acre of Hartmire land, wetland, out of 30 acre. I see as a win, but we need to do more.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
This summer, I was humbled seeing the Black Lives Matter movement fight for change. Inspired to see so many of my Black friends, colleagues, and constituents march for a better Wisconsin. And with that inspiration came reflection. I saw the role I am playing in this society and the role that I must play as an ally. The burden of responsibility is in all of us to make sure that we are truly anti-racist, not just in words, but in action. The road ahead is a difficult one, but it is the one that is impossible, and we must all, this is a road which is not impossible, and we must all meet this moment with the intention necessary to listen, to learn, and lead. And with that passion, I am dedicated to run again and continue the good work I started at Common Council.
Thank you. I want to thank Syed Abbas for speaking with us and the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. As with every election, please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.